What's going on, everyone? Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm just going to say this right from the get-go. They're the most overrated team in the NFL. I think the Cowboys are a good team. Don't get me wrong. They're a good team. And they're a team that, when they're hot, you don't want to see them in the playoffs. Because when they're at their best, they're one of the toughest teams to beat in the NFL. But they're very inconsistent. And they're a team that, realistically, is so up and down. They lose to some teams that they should beat. They have players that are overhyped. And I just don't think that the Dallas Cowboys will... Not only will they not win the Super Bowl, they won't get out of the NFC. If you think that Dallas is going to go into Lambeau Field and beat the Green Bay Packers, you're absolutely crazy. It's just not going to happen. Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams, they would feast all over that secondary. They would absolutely undress the Dallas Cowboys. It's not even close. The way that their defense has played Green Bay, they'd be able to destroy Dallas. Dallas's offensive line, really, as good as it is, it hasn't been good. So, in my opinion, the Dallas Cowboys are overrated. I do not think they will be a Super Bowl team. I don't think they're even going to, make it out of the NFC. I'd be surprised if they make it to the NFC Championship game. I'm going to go as far as saying that. And that's that. I just want to talk about, a lot of their players on their team. And I want to start with Trayvon Diggs. This guy's the most overrated cornerback I've ever seen in a long time. Just because he leads the league in interceptions, everyone thinks, the guy's the next best corner. He's he's going to be better than Jalen Ramsey. He's the defensive player of the year. That's just false. Steve Palazzolo of PFF came out and said, Cowboys cornerback Trayvon Diggs has given up over 1,000 yards into coverage this season, most in the NFL. That was before the game yesterday. So it's clear. He's overrated. Everybody thinks that just based off the interception numbers, he's some great cornerback. He's a top 5 corner in the league. It's just not the case. You take a look at some of the interceptions, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him. He's been a good player. He's been an average cornerback, and he's been able to get some key takeaways, and that's been a big factor of why the Dallas Cowboys have been so good this season, because of the takeaways, and he's been a big part of that. That being said, when you look into who he has picked off, there's really no quarterback that wows you in there. Of the 11 interceptions he has, one is three are from Mike Glennon. 2 or 3 are from Mike Glennon. One is from Taylor Heineke. The other one's from Taysom Hill, who's not good at all. The other one's from Matt Ryan, a rookie quarterback in Mac Jones. 2 from Sam Darnold, who is trash. Jalen Hurts, the only good interceptions he has this year, the only quarterbacks that are good that he's picked off is the Chargers and the Bucks. And that's Brady and Herbert. Other than those 2 interceptions, he's picked off some of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. And Mac Jones is pretty good. But he's a rookie, makes mistakes. It was early on in his career in the season. So if you're asking me if I think Trayvon Diggs is that corner that can ignite, a team, ignite a defense, absolutely not. That's all I'm going to say on Trayvon Diggs. The next part of the Cowboys I want to talk about is Leighton Vander Esch. This guy is just disgraceful, and the stuff that he's saying is ridiculous. Some of the things he said after yesterday's game are absolutely atrocious. Dallas gets every call in the world, and this guy came out and said, quote, I just don't understand how with the technology that we have today, even if we don't have timeouts or whatever it may be, to not be able to challenge it. It's so obvious. Certain things are so obvious in games that refs are messing up. Why aren't they fixing it? It doesn't make any sense to me. To me, we're playing more against the refs than we are the other teams. It's unbelievable what he's saying. I mean, I understand that the officials in the NFL are very bad, but to go as far as saying you play the refs more than your opponents is awful. I mean, it's just terrible. The Dallas defense is a unit that last season was one of the worst defenses we've ever seen in the NFL. They took a huge step up this season, and props to Dan Quinn. He's the guy who brought that out. I mean, he's been very good there. But Leighton Vander Esch, I mean, you're not a good linebacker to begin with. You've taken a huge hit since your injuries, and you just have no place in saying this. That's all I'm going to say on Leighton Vander Esch. Their coaching situation is terrible. Mike McCarthy's a joke. Kellen Moore, they have two very good coordinators, but, I mean, their head coach is awful. Mike McCarthy is if they had a good coach, Dallas, this would be a totally different team. They'd be a team that maybe only loses 2 or 3 games this season. Their offense is the final thing I want to talk about. I mean, I touched on the defense a lot in this video, and I just think that the defense is taking a big step up. But I still think they're overrated. I mean, the defense, they can get pressure. Micah Parsons is a stud, but the Cowboy fans, you got to slow it down with the Lawrence Taylor. I mean, the Lawrence Taylor nonsense. It's ridiculous. Lawrence Taylor is one of the best football players to ever play the game of football, and you're going to compare a guy who's 15 games into his career, and you're going to say, the guy is as good as Lawrence Taylor. It's ridiculous. But they've been able to get pressure, which is pretty good. DeMarcus Lawrence and Randy Gregory, along with Micah Parsons, they've done a terrific job of getting pressure. So Dallas's defense is inconsistent, like I've said. Their secondary is a huge question mark, and it's the biggest question mark of their team, and that's why they're going to lose football games, and their inconsistency. And offensively, they have not been good at all as of late. I mean, they were good against Washington, but you look at where their defense put them, and I mean the defense had a score. I mean their offense has just been so inconsistent, and it disappears at times. And yesterday they only lost by 3 points, but if you actually watch the game, they lost by a lot more than 3. I mean, they got a touchdown late in the game to make it look a lot closer than it was, and realistically, their offense just isn't as good as advertised. Ezekiel Elliott is a running back who is hit or miss. I mean, the guy he's very inconsistent. Dak Prescott, he's thrown for 250 yards once over the last 5 games. He's played some really, really bad opponents. So if you're asking me if I think this Dallas team is good enough to get to the Super Bowl or win it, absolutely not. I think the Cowboys are a very good team, and I definitely wouldn't want to play them in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, I just don't think that this is a team that's going to make it out of the NFC. I think they're still going to be good for quite a while as long as they keep these players. They have some good players, but they need to make upgrades on their defense. And this season, I think it's unrealistic to look at the Dallas Cowboys and say that they're a team that can make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. But that's just my thoughts. I just wanted to touch a little bit on the Cowboys because I'm hearing a lot of, talk from their fan base, the media, and how, Dallas is, such a good team, and Trayvon Diggs, and, all this. But I just wanted to kind of put my opinion out there. Maybe you guys don't agree with it. You guys let me know, though, down below in the comment section. Your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. Do you think they're going to make it out of the NFC or win the Super Bowl? Like I said, I don't think so. But let me know what you think about my comments in this video. Comment down below. And as always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys. And we'll see you guys all in the next video.